Welcome back to Brands Hatch for round 4 of the 2010 Lotus Cup Europe. We go side by side for third position as Romain Rotaro in the red car looks to the outside of Tom Chataway in the white machine, and it's Rotaro in his 211 who goes up into third position. Storming recovery drive this from the Frenchman, who ran wide in the early stage of the race whilst contesting the lead with the current race leader Steve Williams. Second place is currently Rotaro's Boursier competition teammate Christophe Legendre, and then we have got Simon Deacon, who's also picked his way past Tom Chataway. So Simon Deacon now into fourth place in the black 39 car, then Chataway in the white 62, and then it's Mark Gooday in the bright orange machine just behind them. As we have got somebody taking to the grass there, and that's Michael Corridon, who had some adventures in qualifying. He's got some adventures in the race as well. He should continue with no harm done, as now Romain Rotaro is beginning to reel in Christophe Legendre with quite some rapidity. Legendre, who was the winner of the second race in round 3 of the season at Magny-Cours, runs wide going through paddock. He just slides offline. He puts his hand in the air, waves to Rotaro. Now, is he allowing Rotaro through at Druids? Yes, he is. Very gentlemanly indeed from Christophe Legendre. He really did leave the door wide open. Thank you, says Rotaro. So he elevates himself up into second position. As again, Legendre rather lost his flow somewhat because he slides wide again going through Graham Hill Bend. I just wonder if Simon Deacon might find himself homing in on the tail of the Frenchman in very short order. So now we have the battle between Williams and Rotaro at Headfield rejoined once more. We go in car Jonathan Mobbs as he is busy chasing down Stephen Grove. He looks to the inside of Grove as they go into Druids, everybody piling in behind them. And well, that battle's rather Mobbs' hands, isn't it, at the moment? But it's Mobbs who is at the head of that particular train. He's just picked his way past Grove. And then Donald Cannard as well has got Paul McNeely right on his tail. So Donald Cannard, it's not really fine weather for ducks this weekend because it's beautiful sunshine here at Brands Hatch as they go through Surtees out on the Grand Prix loop. As now, what can Stephen Grove do about chasing down Jonathan Mobbs as they plunge down Pilgrim's Drop? Grove looks to the inside of Mobbs. This is going to be a brave move. He can pull it off. He certainly looks to the inside. Jonathan Mobbs around the outside, keeps his foot in. Mobbs with the black and yellow novice cross on the rear of the car. He's done less than 10 car races, so to be fighting out around the outside at Westfield is fantastic stuff from Mobbs as he just about keeps Stephen Grove behind him. I think Stephen Grove will feel that he's gone for an overtaking move on probably two of the boldest corners to attempt such a move anywhere in the UK, and he has been rebuffed quite stoutly by Mobbs. They go into Stirling's again. Groves looks to the inside again. Mobbs goes around the outside, so Donald Cannard and Paul McNeely able to close onto the tail of that train as they make their way under the bridge and on towards Clearways and Clark Curve. That will bring them through to complete another lap. And as Mobbs, does he run slightly offline there? Well, he just is a couple of inches off from the ideal apex. Now that could give Grove the opportunity he's looking for as they accelerate along Bram Straight. Well, Jonathan Mobbs holds the inside line, so Stephen Grove looks to the outside. He's not really close enough into paddock. He brakes incredibly late. Well, talk about curse the commentator. You say he's not near enough, and then there he goes, launching himself up the inside, gains the position. Brilliant manoeuvre, and really just caught Jonathan Mobbs napping, although he then runs wide, slightly going through Druids. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's side by side between the leaders. Steve Williams the inside, Rotaro the outside. Into Hawthorns they go. Williams is a robust driver, so is Romain Rotaro. Each of them giving the other just enough room, but no more. Again, Rotaro trying to squeeze Williams to the inside as they go towards Westfield, hoping that he'll run wide. Instead, Rotaro looks to the outside as they climb up towards Sheen Curve. Not sure Williams can hold on anymore. No, he can't, so Romain Rotaro goes through and takes the lead. Brilliant manoeuvre, although Williams continues to try and fight him and looks to the inside into Stirling's. No way through there. So Romain Rotaro takes the lead from Steve Williams. They accelerate through. Thank you, and a thumbs up for Romain Rotaro. He quite clearly enjoyed that. Unfortunately, Peter Trott is not so hot to trot. He retires to the paddock as at the head of the field we have got this enthralling dice between Romain Rotaro and Steve Williams. I think the last thing Williams was expecting was a big thumbs up from Rotaro as the Frenchman took the lead. Although Williams is really a master of bold overtaking manoeuvres, so let's see what he can do. Now we are moving towards the closing stage of this race, so Williams, he's certainly not got that many laps left as he launches to the inside. Rotaro taking a more conventional hairpin line wide on the outside, then swooping across to take the apex. It buys him 5 or so car lengths as they go through Graham Hill Bend as Simon Deacon's now made his way past Christophe Lisandre, and Lisandre under pressure as well from Tom Chatway. It does rather look as if Lisandre lost his rhythm somewhat when he allowed Rotaro through, and is now slipping back into that rather fraught battle going on behind. And there's James Proctor leading another train of cars as Paul McNeely just loses out to David Jacobs. Jacobs, who again was an early spinner, recovering up through the field. We ride in car with McNeely as we go down Paddock Hill Bend, climbing up towards Druids, as David Jacobs looking to the inside. Well, he just about squeezes through, but some assertive driving going on throughout the field. So now James Proctor having to defend from Paul McNeely as David Jacobs recovers up the order. There, however, is the class leader of the Exige Cup. That's John Rass, who is having a good battle there with Philippe Loop. So Rass at the moment keeping the 211 at bay. The two orange cars making their way into Westfield. Loop looking to the outside. John Rass sticking quite firmly to the middle of the road. So no way through at the moment the 211, and they've got also Pete Story and Gregory Rass beginning to close into their tail as well. So wherever you look around this Brands Hatch Grand Prix loop, there are battles going on as bouncing across the curbs goes Philippe Loop. He really did give it some as they exited Stirling's. Now, will that give him the run? We'll wait and see. They're coming up to some of the runners a little bit lower down the order now. So that is Olivier Agary, who is busy chasing down Thierry Verheist as the race leaders now in amongst the back markers. Just putting a lap on Michael Corridon is Romain Rotaro, with Steve Williams still very much his shadow, but not at the same time, as we've got waved yellow flags there at Surtees. So no overtaking for the leaders. They, in theory, should be backing right off the throttle, though plenty of curbs being clipped. And oh no, that's Stephen Grove, who has retired from the race. So Stephen Grove being pushed away, a great shame after a spirited drive that has really had any impact on the two leaders whatsoever, as they continue as quickly as they know how. They are working their way now up to the tail of Gregor Zechka. He's the next driver who they'll be looking to lap as we go back to the fantastic battle between John Rass and Philippe Loop, with Pete Story and Gregory Rass very much in the mix. This time Loop has got a good run on John Rass as they go down to Hawthorns. Nothing that Rass can do, so Philippe Loop goes through. He gains position and moves up into 8th place overall. John Rass continues to lead the class, but he's now demoted to 9th. Although I think, judging by the way that he's chasing Philippe Loop, he's more concerned about the 8th place than the class win, because he's looking every which way to try and force an advantage from the Frenchman, siding through the back markers. And on to the last lap go the two leaders, running absolutely line astern as they go to the outside of Jose Vanzlin, and that gives Williams a look to the inside. He goes to the inside, he takes lead on the very last lap going through Paddock Hill Bend. Steve Williams takes the advantage away from Romain Rotaro. They run up towards Druids. Now will Williams be able to hold on? They break into Druids hairpin. In the case of Williams, very late indeed. The car just slithers slightly offline on the exit, but he's still got the advantage over the Frenchman as they go into Graham Hill Bend for the final time. Romain Rotaro gains 2 or 3 car lengths under braking as they make their way along towards Surtees. This will send them out onto the Grand Prix loop for the final time. Brilliant race this. Through Surtees they go. Clipping the curb is Romain Rotaro as they then will emerge into view any moment now. As they plunge down Pilgrim's Drop, Williams gives Rotaro the room. Up the inside through Hawthorns goes Romain Rotaro. He takes the lead, or does he? They run side by side as they accelerate on towards Westfield. But it's Rotaro who's got the inside line and breaks later than Steve Williams. So Williams now trying to force the move up the inside as they climb on towards Sheen Cove. Rotaro slams the door very firmly shut. A little bit of a late manoeuvre there from Rotaro, but it does the job. It keeps Steve Williams at bay. They're about to catch possibly Mark Yates a little bit lower down the order, as they will just about catch that Elise production class car as they make their way into Clearways for the final time. It's Rotaro just from Steve Williams as they streak onto Bram Straight. It's Romain Rotaro. Surely he was going to claim victory in race 1 unless Steve Williams can pull out of the slipstream. He's just too far behind, so it's Romain Rotaro who takes a great win from Steve Williams in 2nd position. As we've got on the very last lap, Dan Plant going off at Paddock Hill Bend. He's avoided being lapped by the leaders, but unfortunately he has slithered to the very rear of the field. Delight there from Romain Rotaro, receiving the applause from the crowd of the marshals after a very fine drive. So the final classification is that Romain Rotaro has taken the win despite going through a gravel trap from Steve Williams, and then Simon Deacon claiming 3rd place after a great and very hard-fought drive. Well, the 2:11 class was the top 3 finishes in the race. So it's Romain Rotaro from Steve Williams and Sam Deacon. The Exige class was won by John Rass from Gregory Rass and Olivier Agary. Marcus Jewell took production class honours from newcomer Stuart Plotneck, and James Proctor, great drive to take third in that class. And BJ Chong it was who took invitation class honours. The top 3 drivers very happy on top of the podium.
You worked hard for that result, you must be pleased.
Yes, that was really great fun. That was absolutely great. The car was very well prepared by Boursier. Handling was fine. Big fight with Steve Williams, so that was fun. That was very fair play, nice race. I hope I'll be as fast for the next race.
Tell us about the battles out there.
Oh yes, I had a great battle. I was surprised to take a good start, and the first battle was with my brother, and I was also surprised that he let me pass. And then I had a great fight with Philippe Lou, and overtook him, and then he took me again, and he finished just before me. But it was a really nice fight.
You made that look easy, was it?
No, it wasn't an easy race at all. Sometimes it looks like that because you managed to get a gap, but I think some of the people that couldn't give a good run got tangled on the start. So I managed to pull a gap, but it's never easy. It looks it, but there was still a few mistakes made by me, and it was quite slow lap time. So hopefully the second race, looking forward to somebody giving me a bit of challenge to get those lap times back to where they need to be.
Did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, it was a good race. Always a pleasure to race on the GP circuit. Good crowd of people, very entertaining. Yeah, just try to keep it on track and go around as quickly as I could.
Stay with us. After the break, we'll be bringing you race 2 from here at Brands Hatch.